So, ladies and gentlemen, drafts friends all over the world, here we are after a breathtaking match, after a beautiful 2 weeks in the wonderful town of Harlingen. And I would like to begin with just one. The rest of you will have to wait a few minutes, but this one is symbolic, a toast to the players, to all of our volunteers, to our partners, our sponsors, and last but not least, our host, the town, the municipality of Harlingen, and brewery, the Brouwdok, the only brewery below sea level, I've been told, not protected by dikes all over the world, for working with us and making possible this beautiful tournament. So cheers, and after this ceremony there will be a glass for all of us. Because we have had 2 very exciting weeks, not only with the match between a champion and a runner-up, a challenger, but also with dozens of drafts players all over the world playing online in short, snappy online tournaments, both in the Frisk variant of Frisian Draughts and in the classic variant. And yesterday we had semi-finals and today we had finals. And the first finals, 5 against 5, the Frisk variant was between Jelle Wiersma of Wommels, a very well-known name in the world of Frisian Draughts, and someone of whom we had never heard a year ago, Mr. Ilfat Karimov from the city of Tyumen. Tyumen is in the east of Russia, at least it is east of the Uralic mountains, and he started playing Frisian Draughts only, well, make it 1 year ago, it can also be 8 months or something more, and he is already unbelievable strong. But nevertheless, against Jelle, who has of course the experience of decades, he managed to play 2 draws, if I'm not mistaken, but he lost 3 times, so he was not yet strong enough, and in that way Jelle Wiersma won the online tournaments, and he has the right of place, he has a ticket for the next Frisk World Championships to be held in Franeker, but I do not doubt that Ilfat will be here very, very soon as well. And a little bit the same happened in the full game, 20 against 20 pieces, the classic Frisian Draughts sport. That was between 2 newcomers, and one of them was Frederick Bos, who also is one of our board members and one of our organizers. So he is a real multitasker in that respect. Who won the first semi-finals, and a Chinese very young person, and I'm quite certain that I will pronounce his name abominably, but I hardly know better than Zhuoyuan Du. Du is his surname, is the family name, and Zhuoyuan is his personal name, and he's only 13 years old. And he is the terror of all Frisian Draughts players on internet, because especially in fast games it is very, very difficult to beat him. And he also won the first game against Frederick, but well, then we say in Frisian, Frederik scherpe himself op, he sharpened himself and he won the second game and the third one as well. And then there was a fourth game in which Zhuoyuan had, it was a crazy game, that from the start, but Zhuoyuan had some beautiful chances, but not enough time. So the tournament was done and the game was still being played. So then rules are rules, and it was 3-1. So Frederick Bos is certain of a place. He has a ticket for the next Franeker Open. But again, we do not doubt that Zhuoyuan will join us very soon as well, and we are really looking forward to meet him. And I hope that he, just like Ilfat, is watching right now, and I just say, I cannot wait to meet you in person. But then, we also had the match between two players, 11 games, and especially the last few days, I've been asked quite a few times, well, we know who will be champion, why play on? Well, and then mostly I said something like, well, it's nice when you're in the organization to have a fixed schedule and to know when things are finished and not to shift and anything. And well, then most people say, oh yes, I can imagine that, and that's the end of the discussion. But the real reason is that we want to make a connection between the traditional Frisian Draughts game and an equally traditional sports event, and that's the world famous traditional 11 cities skating tour. And well, back in the 70s, and I think some of you may still remember, back in the 70s, it was quite clear. It was quite clear. You couldn't. There was denying of the fact that the climate was changing very, very fast, and the majority of the scientists warned us very, very seriously. We should reckon with a new ice age in our times. So prepare for cold and dry years in which there will be ice for months and months every winter. Well, that was bad news, of course, except for one respect, and that was the viewpoint of the skaters. And you know, of course, that skating more or less became a serious sport here, where there's lots of water, here and the rest of the Netherlands, where it's flat, lots of water, nice winter, and then you can have skating events. But when people all over the world heard these prophecies and predictions of cold winters in northwestern Europe, in Nagano and Hamar and Toronto and Vancouver, they all started to build skating centers like crazy, because they started to train and to train and to train, because they had one dream in mind. Of course, it's nice to be Canadian champion of skating, or #1 of Japan, or even to skate in the Olympic Games. It's all very nice. And I will never do it, I'm afraid. But the dream of every skater is one time to participate and to finish, or even to win, the Frisian 11 cities skating tour. That's the dream of all and any skaters. Well, what I want to say to all lovers of Frisian Draughts and mind sports in general, if you like Frisian Draughts, if you are grasped by it, just start a small center of your own, a local or a regional or even a national organization, and start organizing tournaments and championships. And I would like to say that to Zhuayuan in Shanghai, and I'm quite certain that he will be the first Chinese champion of Frisian Draughts. And the same to Ilfat Karimov. I'm quite sure that he will be the very first Frisian Draft champion of Russia east of the Ural. And then, well, in Minsk, the competition will be a little bit harder, and the same in St. Petersburg. But please start your own organizations, organize your own championships and your tournaments, and then one day your dream might come true, that you can go to Harlingen. To Harlingen and sit in one of these purple seats in which Matten and Volkert have been sitting for the last 2 weeks, and play for the World Championships Frisian Draughts in the beautiful sea town of Harlingen, of Haas. And that's why I'm delighted to present to you the First Lady of the city, or with an old-fashioned English word, the burgomaster, Mrs. Ina Scherps. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your nice introduction. As Mayor of Harlingen, I'm particularly pleased to welcome you all and the players and the organization to the town of Harlingen. It is only right that Harlingen is the site of this historic match, as many, I'd say almost everyone, agrees that Harlingen is the most beautiful town of Friesland. Harlingen is an ancient harbour town. It borders on the Waddenzee, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it has I'm a bit distracted by all the movements around me. It's a World Heritage Site, the Waddenzee. Harlingen has an impressive naval history with trade relations ranging from Russia and the Baltics, Scandinavia, London and far beyond. And the names of these trade towns with which Harlingen traded over the decades, over the centuries, still can be read on the old warehouses in the town of Harlingen. I'm particularly pleased, therefore, to be here, be present, and be part of this important ceremony. And it's a great honor for me to present the prizes to our two giants of Frisian Draughts. First, Mr. Volkert Groenveld. I'm quite sure that if we would have doubled the number of games, he would have won. As everybody has told me, he's not a sprinter, but he's a marathon player. So as you've noticed, he won the last game, and no doubt if we'd have had more games to play, he would have won in the end. But unfortunately, somebody in the organization favors Mr. Martin Walinga very much and helped him by reducing the number of games to 11. So it's a pity, Volkert, that the organization favors Mr. Walinga more, but I'm very honored to present you this bunch of flowers. As a token of our great esteem, and we're very, very impressed by your playing and your expertise, especially since you only started playing Frisian Draughts at the age of 30. So probably in the next 10 years you'll be, gaining strength and power, and you'll beat him in the end, even in 11 games.
Thank you. I'll express some words. Many thanks, Mr. Baer from Harlingen, for those kind words. First of all, congratulations to Martin Walinga, world champion. Of course, he's the real champion, and he has earned this title. So no doubt about it. I'm a marathon man, and also I skated the 11 city tours in '79. So I don't know what's harder, 11 games or skating 11 cities. But when I was at 97, I said 79. Yeah, it should have been always in '79. I was ready for it. There was a lot of snow in that year. But that's the side talk. My wife says, don't talk too long, Volkert. So I'll try to keep it in a little few minutes. Apropos, what should I mention? Yeah, 11 cities on skate or 11 draughts play. Yeah, I was on the Bonkenvaart in 97. I was quite fatigued, but now I could have skated some more. But for draughts play, I mentioned you can wake me up middle of the night and I play draughts. It's nice, and even so, Martin is the real champion, but I won the last 2 games, and Sibuk said, you played, and it's only for me, and it's quite strengthening me. no mistakes according to scan. So it's quite a difficult game, and I played very well. Yesterday we played well, so I think I didn't make Martin as tough as I should have been, and I could have played. And I made it sometimes too easy for him. But nevertheless, he's the champion, of course, and I should have done better, but I can live with it, and I've been runner-up, and I have a very nice tournament. I won latest year in Franeker. We played in the planetarium against Georgia. What a location. This is a nice location. So for me, it's a very nice tournament. Many thanks to the organizations, all people around from the Bode and the Seaburg, etc., and the organization. Many thanks. The home front, last weeks on my holiday. So, yeah, we couldn't make plans. Only draughts play. Yeah, that's why. Now, forgot someone? I don't think so, and otherwise Martin will mention him. Many thanks, and for the next tournament. I'm delighted to do it. So, many thanks.
Yes, well then, of course, what I said about the organization being in favor of you was only pleasantry. Of course, you're the right winner. Yeah? You've played a great tournament, winning 7.5 of the 11 matches, so it's extremely impressive what I read about your brain power. Thinking so many steps ahead of what your opponent will probably be doing. I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm afraid my expertise at draughts and chess and is minimal. I am particularly pleased to, on behalf of the organization and the town of Harlingen, to crown you with this beautiful, well, how do you call this? Wreath. Because of Corona, I'm doing some gymnastics and trying to stay both away from Martin.
Yes.
And yes. And I won't throw this. I'm afraid that's too heavy. But you've earned it more than I can imagine. Because I wouldn't dream of doing a tournament like this myself, but you've earned it.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Now.
Yeah. Smell? With a match like this, you start with the first move with one piece. So this is probably the last piece of this match. So it's also important. We can close with this piece. About the tournament, about the match, of course, we both prepared a lot of time, used a lot of time in the preparations, and before the preparations, well, we both loved the game, and like Volker said, you can wake us up in the middle of the night for a game of draughts. We like to play a lot and also study the game a lot. And last year when we had the candidate match, who Volker won in Franeker, I was a little bit afraid. Because Volker is a theoretical person. He knows a lot of theory and he makes study of it serious. So I was anxious to start this match against him because I think, well, if you lost the beginning moves, the game is lost. So I was afraid to be on, to lose the first 2-3 games. And I think, well, maybe it will be better during then I see what he's playing. But okay, it went a little bit the other side. I played quite strong in the first games, and also with some new ideas. We both had some new ideas with putting the gambit on the board, and we had 3 games in the 11 games that we have a gambit opening, and it's quite. They talk about it now. They say, "Oh, Frisian Draughts, it's like chess. You can play a gambit in the opening, and it's quite strong." So I think internationally it will be. A lot of people will now look with other eyes to Frisian Draughts. Not only that it is very difficult, but also that it's even as nice as chess to play this game. So. What I also want to say is many thanks to the organization, which I'm a part of it, so that's a little bit stupid, of course, but there were many people more around me who make it possible to make everything possible, to have this beautiful match and beautiful online tournaments, which also requires a lot of energy, and we now have fulfill a round schedule of a World Championship with pre-tournaments and then a World Championship. Now we have finished our match, so we start again with the whole cycle for the next 4 years. And I hope in the future a lot of players from internet who are playing on lead draughts, starting their communities, their organizations, so that in a few years we see a lot of more international tournaments, even more than the last World Championship in 2018, because then we had a championship of Czech Republic, Italia, European Championship. So I hope we will have also championships of Africa, in America, the east of Asia. Well, I say go for it, everyone, and I will thank the organization and all the players who will play online. And we hope that we see a beautiful future for the Frisian Draughts internationally. Thanks.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Volkert. Thank you, Mrs. Scherps. For Mrs. Scherps, we have some final presents. I'll just show you. It's a beautiful book about the sport, Oer alles, which means over all, because in olden times, people distinguished Frisian draughts from diagonal draughts, which was called oerhoeks, just jumping on the corners, over the corners, and this was jumping Oer alles, just wherever you like, wherever you can, written by Martin Walinger's father, by Volkert Groenveld's drafts teacher, Hille Walinga. I think a person to whom we are very much indebted for the survival of Frisian draughts into the 21st century. That's one.
Thank you very much.
And the other one is to thank you for your hospitality, and we hope very much that we can be here again in 2 years for the national championships, in 4 years for world championships again, and so on, and so on. And as long as people like Frisian draughts, as long as Corona doesn't make things too difficult, I guarantee that the climate will cooperate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'm quite sure that you will come back to Harlingen, as from now on, Harlingen is the world capital of Frisian Draughts.
So, then I'll propose a toast to those final words of Mrs. Ina Scherps. Harlingen, from now on, the world capital of Frisian draughts. Tjoch. Ja? Cheers. Tjoch. Salut.
Yes.
Yes.
And we also have a representative from the FMGD, Jean-Marc. Can you come in front here?
Of course.
Well, he's a,
To
oh,
invite Jean-Marc.
he's a bit shy. I don't know if he likes it.
Jean-Marc is an entrepreneur, the Jeu de Dam.
Yes.
He's living in Cameroon and he is representative for the FNGD. He's the players representative for the FNGD for the Fédération Jeu de Dam Mondiale.
Yeah.
He especially came from Cameroon to Harlingen to visit this match. So, may I give a few words to you? I will thank you.
If you will not give it, I will have take it.
Yeah.
No, really, it is okay, my. Huh? How to say from where to start? Because I think they said everything, but I will start. I'll continue somewhere. Harlingen, the mayor said, is the capital of Frisian. I will keep this in mind. So I know where to go next time when I'm in Holland, in the Netherlands. It was a pleasure, of course, Corona with everything, but we are still alive, and we thank God for that. And it was a pleasure for me being here, meeting friends, old friends, enjoying against the champion, Frisian, the city. What to say? A bit some rain, but good things comes also with rain. And today is a bright day. And what to say? Hopefully, we will be here shortly. And I would like to thank also the organization, people who played online. But no, don't mind. We will have also African champions of Frisian very soon. I promise I will take care a bit. I will do my best to organize that. So it was really a pleasure again. And yes, this is the place to be. I choose the right day to be here today. So congratulations, champion. Fulker, you are. Continue to fight, because I'm also a fighter in draft. When you fight, later you always get something. So thank you, Tonkan. It is so nice. It is emotional moment. And thank you to the city. Thank you to the mayor. Long live Harlingen. Long live Frisian Draft. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jean-Marc and Jo Fang. And if anyone is a little bit in the neighborhood, just come to the Brouwdock where we will continue festivities. Thank you very much and see you next time.